What's up, goody goods? It's NiKole-the-Notary, and I'm here today with a hot topic for us to discuss, and that is Snapdocs verification. How do you get verified, and what to do if it seems to be stuck? So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be a different kind of presentation, at least for me. I'm going to put my skills to use and try to make it a little bit more lively and entertaining for you, as well as share with you parts of my journey that led me to creating this video, and also some tips that might help you if you are in a position where you aren't Snapdocs verified. So I want to go ahead and do that now. Let's cue the intro and get things started, all right? All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you like my new intro. If you do, go ahead and leave me comments in the comments below in the video. And also, since we're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, okay? Thank you. I appreciate all of your support, and that helps me, keep wanting to make videos and help you guys out with a little bit kind of different flavor than everybody else is dropping out, or so I hope. So today, like I said, we're going to do things a little bit differently. You're not going to sit here and look at me all day. I'm not just going to talk to you. I'm going to help actually give you some tips to help you get through your Snapdocs struggle. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, let me start the presentation. And yes, I am an avid Canva user. Hey, Canva. So I'm going to put the link for Canva in the description. If you guys like Canva, you already know what a great tool it can be. If you aren't familiar with Canva, get familiar, because it'll help you make great things like what I'm going to show you today. So this presentation today is going to be called Snapdocs verification. Get to work. And by get to work, I don't mean get to work on Snapdocs. I mean, get to work, get some work from Snapdocs, because right now you're in a position where you can't get that work. So let's start off with a couple of facts. Number one, it is a fact 90% of orders on Snapdocs are completed by signing agents with verified credentials. Let's break that down for a second. That means there are 10% of people who are making headway on Snapdocs without being verified. So first of all, know that you can be part of that 10%. If your profile is updated, somebody's in need, you may get an order. But let's look at reality. 90% of people are verified. So let's go ahead and figure out how we can be verified. All right, let's do the right thing. This video may help you. I know there are a lot of us out there right now that are in a position where you are sitting at home crying because Snapdocs is not working for you. I'm going to give you some tips. These tips are not rocket science. They're going to be common sense tips, and I'm going to share with you some of my journey. But I just want to let you know that this video might help you. I'm not making any promises. I'm just going to give you some tips that may help and may help you get to the next level. Okay. So go ahead and finish watching. If you like it, then give me a like. And if not, then, you watched the video and you've already cleared all the things that I've said. So, maybe I give you a little nugget that you can use, going forward. It's time to get some work. So, like I said, you may be sitting out there. I really like this slide here because there's two scenarios here. One woman is walking on sunshine, and she's just kind of floating through, and the other one is sitting there looking at that phone, waiting for it to ring. And I don't want us to be in a position where we're waiting for our phones to ring. We want our phones to be ringing and being able to pass up work not waiting on that work to come to us. So that's what my goal here is today, is to help us get to that next level. All right. So I'm going to give you tips. This tip, common sense. Upload your credentials. On the Snapdoc portal, they give you the list of credentials that are listed here, and that's going to be your ID verification, your notary commission, your background check report, your E&O insurance, your NNA certification. Okay, if you don't have these things, at a bare minimum, if you don't have them, verification is going to take you a very long time. Go ahead and make sure that you are verifiable. Get your information updated. Now, you can work on Snapdocs without having all of these things here. Your profile will be listed as, I think, medium and in need of being fixed. So go ahead and make sure that you do that. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of these and give you my opinion. Now, this is my opinion, and it's not a verified fact in any way. For most of these, besides your notary commission. And I am in Virginia, so it's going to be specific to our state, at least my experience in our state and being verified on Snapdocs, all right? So the first one is identification, or ID verification. So this is your ID. Snapdocs, I believe, is looking for a driver's license. While this is called ID verification, in order to become a mobile notary, you kind of need to be mobile. There are states where having a driver's license isn't a big deal, like New York, right? So like if you're in certain parts of New York, that's not going to be a big deal. Like specifically New York City, if you're in New York City, hardly nobody has cars there. DC's kind of the same way. So you can get around without having the need for a vehicle. But most states are very spread out, and you don't have that luxury of having kind of that metro or a subway system put in place. So I believe Snapdocs is looking for a driver's license. And the other reason I said that is because I have heard people who have uploaded IDs and they not be good enough. So I don't know if that was something specifically with that ID. You know, we're in the business of verifying identification, so maybe that was it. But if you have knowledge that Snapdocs does take different ID verifications, go ahead and leave that in the comments below so other people can read it and glean from your experience as well. Like I said, for me, this was driver's license. I've had to do this twice now in the last several months since I've been certified, so I can say for sure how this process works. You upload your ID, you take a mobile photograph of it, like on your cell phone, and you upload it to the portal. It takes anywhere from a few seconds, because the first time I did mine, it took a few seconds. The second time I did mine, it took maybe 10 minutes for that verification to actually get done. Yours may take longer. I may have hit it on a day when the system was, you know, very easy to process. Virginia licenses driver's licenses can be pretty easy to process. I don't know. My identification the second time took about 10 minutes. All right, that's what I can tell you. Your notary commission. So your notary commission, this is a given. You need to upload your notary commission to be able to do notary signing agent assignments. That should not be rocket science. If you have one, you got one. If you don't, you don't. Can you sign up on Snapdocs without having your commission? Yes. Do you need your commission to actually get jobs? Probably. You can sign up without that commission. It does say that you don't have it. And the reason I know that is because that's what I did. Now, if that process has changed in the last few months, I don't know. But when I first signed up, I didn't have my commission. I signed up before it came in the mail. I was trying to be proactive about everything. And I hit a couple of the different little quirks, which allow me to give you some feedback on how that works. So for me, I did not have my commission when I first started. Okay. Background check report. So we all know what this is. You need to get one. Most signing companies that I've seen require the NNA. Now, when you get into being Fidelity approved, sometimes they want a different type of insurance. I'm sorry, not insurance, a different kind of background report. Okay, so it's really going to be dependent on what that specific company wants and what they're looking for. But most people, from what I have seen, do NNA background checks. And that there's like only a few companies that are even authorized to give notary background checks that are widely accepted. You want to get the most widely accepted ones. You don't have to do it multiple times. You don't have to pay for it multiple times. All right. E&O insurance. Sorry for all the older notaries who are active, but still can't be verified. This is for the new people on this part. Okay, just stay tuned, and I will get to the good stuff next. E&O insurance. This would be a copy of your E&O insurance and your NNA your E&O insurance. Now, for new signing agents, if you have like $5,000, don't know where you got that from, go ahead and get at least $25,000. That's bare minimum, okay? I would not do a signing anywhere without at least $25,000 in coverage. When you get more serious and you're a little bit more dedicated to your business, then up it to $100,000 as soon as you make that decision. And then, you can increase it from there. I believe the highest I've seen is 2 or 5 million, somewhere around that range. You don't need that. But it depends on what your goals are and what your plans are. All right. NNA certification. Now this is, have you become a notary signing agent according to the NNA? So where did you get your training? Did you take the NNA training course? If you took that course, then you do have NNA certification according to the NNA, and you will have certification. Now, a lot of these portals, not just Snapdocs, have a place for you to upload NNA certification. I asked about this, and what this is apparently there used to be an actual certificate for passing that course, okay? But that is not something that they give out anymore. Now they give you your signing agent profile, okay? So what you can do is, and I'll talk about this later too, what you can do is print that page to a PDF and then upload it there so that it ticks the marker for that. But that's not actually what Snapdocs is looking for here. I want to be specific to Snapdocs. So NNA certification is a sync that happens between the NNA and Snapdocs from their database to database. So I'm not going to go into that too much right now because I have another slide for that later. So stay tuned. All right. So next up, so upload your credentials. You've done that. Okay. So now we're going to read the website. Okay. And we're going to take some tips from the website itself. It specifically says, in order to validate your certification, your NNA profile must be public. Please check that your profile says NNA certified and background screened. Now, my tip here is that this means your signing agent profile on signingagent.com, not Snapdocs profile. All right. So your signing agent profile should say NNA certified and background screened at a minimum. Now it can also say trained, and that's the highest level on the NNA, but you'll want to have at least certified and background screened, and you'll see it in the large chunk of text, I think, at the beginning of your signing agent profile. I don't have a screenshot of that, but I did want to show you guys that you can check your profile. Okay, so be sure to check your profile and make sure that you have the things that I talked about in the beginning, which is your background check and your insurance and your NNA certification. Okay, so that's tip number 2. If you have any questions on tip number 2, write in tip number 2 and talk to me in the comments. I will be checking this video regularly. All right. So next tip, and I found this out because I had to, because I wanted to make sure that I was aware of what was going on. And I'm going to actually turn off my my webcam on this one for a second so you can see it. All right, so is your correct cell phone number listed in the mobile number box. When I'm talking about checking your cell phone, I don't mean literally like looking at your phone and checking it. I mean, check out the tip. It says in Snapdocs, go to my profile and then phone numbers on the right. Okay. So check that out. So, is your cell phone number listed in the mobile number box? Guys, this is so simple. But it can be wrong. Like you may be like me. You may have a mobile number. You may have your office phone number, your fax number, and you may have just tossed those numbers in when you were signing up. The cell phone number is what gets those SMS text messages to your phone. So it's very important that that number is actually the cell phone number, or the number that you intend to do business with on your phone. And that leads me to the next one. When you put in a number there, you should immediately, like within 5 minutes, and I will give you 5 minutes because that is ridiculously long, but within a few minutes, you should get your confirmation text. If you don't, you know that the next thing may be a problem for you. So can your cell receive text from an auto dialer? If you're using Google Voice, sometimes based on when you got your number, like I've had my Google Voice number, I've had it for my other business for years. And I can tell you for a fact that I used to not get text from an auto dialer. Like it used to be a problem. Sometimes I would only get it when I was on Wi-Fi. Google Voice has increased their functions and just what am I trying to say? Google Voice has adapted over time to make it a better experience for everybody, but this can be an issue despite whether you're using Google Voice or you're using your cell phone company's additional line that they can provide to you. For example, for my notary business, I have an additional line through T-Mobile, and I'm using T-Mobile Digits. T-Mobile Digits, I had a tough time early on getting text messages to go to my T-Mobile Digits phone number. Okay, so it's $10 a month, but if I can't get if I can't get Snapdocs orders and any orders from any signing service to my phone, if I can't get assignments on my phone from that, then it's not worth it to me, right? So I might as well just use my main phone number. And guess what? That's actually what I ended up doing. I ended up using my main cell phone number for all of these signing services because I wasn't able to get it using the phone number that I already established for my business, which was supposed to be a mobile number. Okay, now, again, specific to T-Mobile, I'm telling you about my experiences. So, have you enabled a spam blocker? So, oftentimes, your orders can be seen as spam. They are coming from the auto dialer numbers. Now, when I say auto dialer, I mean that it's a phone number it's a dialer number that's like 6 digits long, I believe. Okay, I forget what the technical term is for that. I used to work in telecom, so I know all those things. But this is a 6-digit number instead of an actual phone number. So that's what I mean when I'm referring to that. If your phone can't receive those or isn't receiving them, so regardless of everything else, like let's say that you get spam messages from Spanx and a Victoria's Secret all day long, if you can't get the ones from your initial sign up on Snapdocs, then that's a problem, right? So this is a problem you can fix. Figure out what you need to do to get your phone to receive those. For me, I called up T-Mobile and said, hey, I got issues. I need to get some money here. What's going on? So I fixed that issue, right? And I was able to then receive text messages to my Digits number. Everything is fine, okay? So to work around that, though, while in between trying to figure out what was going on with my own profile, I went ahead and started giving out my actual phone number because I wanted to get those orders in. All right. So these are some tips that you can check. I'm sorry if this isn't like mind-blowing or earth-shattering information, but it is something that you can check to help you determine, root cause, what the issue is. All right. So All right, next slide. All right, so again, looking at the things and the cues that Snapdocs gives you itself. Is your profile public? You're going to want to be public. What do you mean by that? I mean, be public. This is taken from my Snapdocs profile. It says, promote my business with a public profile. Your Snapdocs page is completely free and optimized to help companies find you when they need a notary. Enabling your public profile allows anyone who's interested in hiring your notary services to request your phone number and email address and contact you. Hello, if you don't have this turned on, you may not be getting orders. So turn it on, okay? Figure out whatever you need to clean out of your profile to make it safe for you and turn your public profile on, all right? So this is important because this is how people were going to find you, all right? When they're not specifically linking in on a keyword from somewhere else. You're going to be included in the list of notaries from the area that Snapdocs is searching for, all right? So turn your public profile on. And then down here, don't sleep on that, view your profile. You are going to view your personal profile to make sure that it's presentable, all right? I'm going to talk about the things that need to be in there a little bit later, but definitely view it and make sure that that's something that you don't mind representing you as a signing agent, all right? Next. All right, so this one is syncing your profile information. So this is a tip that people do not understand. I did not understand. I knew it was happening somehow, but I didn't understand the nuances behind what was actually occurring. So syncing your profile information, you can see that every notary signing agent or signing agents are in the NNA database. The NNA has a database that they share with signing services that are signed up and subscribed to it. So for Snapdocs updates from the NNA database. I believe it's nightly. I want to say it's midnight because I'm just piggybacking off of the email that they told me. I believe it is nightly at midnight. But it does a sync. And what does that mean? So changes that occurred out on the NNA website. So your commission expiration, if you update your NNA profile, if you get new training, those kinds of things are all, if you lose your commission, those kinds of things are all synced up on the NNA database and then shared with Snapdocs. Okay. So Snapdocs pulls that information and they compare it to the information on the NNA database. All right. So if you're telling them that you have 2,500 years of experience and your NNA profile is just recently opened, then something doesn't add up. So it may be a little off, right? Again, things that are going to be important are your identification, your notary commission, your background check information, your E&O, and your NNA certification, all right? So on Snapdocs, you'll be able to see if any of these are out of sync. There will not be a green check box next to it. It'll be colored a little bit differently, all right? So that's a little bit of information you probably haven't gotten anywhere else. I know I hadn't seen it anywhere else until it happened to me that I had to dig deeper and actually get in touch with Snapdocs and have them help me figure out what's going on with my profile. All right. So ensure that your profile information is the same. So my point here is that if you've got your phone numbers in the Snapdocs portal, compare them to the phone numbers listed in the NNA portal. That mobile number should be the same. All right, because that's one of the keys that they key on to identify you. Make sure your mobile number is the same. Also, your business numbers. I know that I had issues here. So make sure that that information is consistent across everything so that your information and your profiles can sync. And that's what I wanted to say. All right. Now, Yeah, so here are the little check boxes. So this is what it looks like if you don't have NNA certification. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. So I was commissioned and I was receiving orders from Snapdocs. I was 100% Snapdocs verified. As you can see, it says yes. This picture actually comes from my profile. So this was like back in October, September sometime. I made a change to my insurance on the NNA with NNA, and so I increased it from. I told you that at the beginning. I increased it from 25,000 to 100K. All right, and then all of a sudden my phone stopped. Like I was getting little tiny orders from what are those things called? The identity, not identity verifications. I was getting credit modification or that resolution orders, assignments. Okay, sorry. I was getting those, but like I wasn't getting anything else. And I'm freaking out thinking that, hey, I've messed up really, really bad on an order. I've been shut down on the whole industry. I was freaking out. So then I started going through like my profile. Like, did anybody say anything negative? I'm like trying to look like, can you see that information? And the answer is no. But I hit my credentials and I saw this screen. Now, this screen does not show up if you have your NNA certification already, like if your profile is syncing properly, right? There's going to be a green check down here where it says NNA certification. And that's what mine used to say. But then all of a sudden, I started seeing this. And I should have known at the time what it was, but because there was such a time in between me realizing that this was off and my change that actually occurred with the NNA, I didn't make the connection until, months later. So I was going insane and I'm like, you see this message here, 90% of orders on Snapdocs are completed by signing agents with the following verified credentials. And I'm like, I'm still highly ranked. Like you can see that on your profile too. I'm like, but I am NNA certified. And I was like, I am. I took the course. I paid the money. I passed. I'm like, I passed those flying colors. Like I was very upset about this. And I'm like, how do I fix this? And so like when you click become NNA certified, that's not something that leads you to upload something, right? That actually opens up a new window and takes you to the NNA page where you can select your training course. Okay. So this is how you know that it's not something that you upload that triggers this one. This is again that sync that's happening between the NNA and Snapdocs. So at some point that got disjointed, right? So I knew I was NNA certified and I started like freaking out and there was nothing I could do. Like I couldn't fix it. And I'll tell you how I fixed it and what I did a little bit, in just a little bit. All right. So keep this in mind. If you see this, I have a tip for you coming up. All right. Okay. So let's say that you've done everything that I said. Let's say that you actually you updated all of your work. You're going to see that your profile says pending verification. And you will see this forever, and it will seem like forever. But what I want you to know is you're going to have to wait to be verified. An appropriate time, according to Snapdocs, to wait to be verified is 2 weeks. All right? 2 weeks. Do not call them before that. They are still going through. They have a lot of notaries to deal with. Think about like the droves of notaries who are hearing Snapdocs is the only way to do this. Everybody's logging into Snapdocs, so give them time to get it done. If you are one of those people, like I was, that is waiting months to be verified after this 2 week time period, go ahead and contact Snapdocs support. Okay, so that number, that email address is listed here. I would prefer, honestly, that you do the other method, which is to come down here and click the little button that says help at the bottom of your, like over here where you're going to see verification. Like this is what it looks like when you're pending. So you're pending verification. So I made changes to my notary commission. I made changes to my E&O, and this is where the screenshot came from, because then my NNA was all disjointed. So I was freaking out about that. Once I sent over a trouble ticket, by clicking on help or support at the bottom of that screen. You can fill in like the little template that they give you. It's not related to a current signing appointment. I just need some help with my verification. What happened in September is what I said. And so then they went in immediately, and they, within a few days, they updated my commission and my E&O insurance to say verified. So they verified the changes that I had made. I still was sitting out here with this red NNA bar and that other message that I showed you, and it kept saying that my missing credentials here was NNA certification, and that was offensive to me because, like I said, I took the time to be verified or to get my NNA certification. So again, just a tip on this one: you can email, but also start with a trouble ticket using their actual system, okay? So if after 2 weeks you have not received a response from either being verified or a response to your trouble ticket, so note that when you create that trouble ticket or you send in an email, that 2-week timer starts over because it's a whole different team that needs to review that, all right? So make sure that you're giving them ample time to actually review the issue and deal with your situation uniquely in reference to everybody else, all right? So what was I going to say? Okay, so the NNA thing for me. Let me see, what's the next slide? Okay, so the next step. All right, so for me, at this point, I was still not NNA verified. My orders dried up. And so I had to do something else. I wanted to start my business. I knew that if I went dormant, that I was not going to make it, and I was going to lose my energy and my steam. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep going with my notary business because I got goals, and this is a part of it, right? So one of the things that I did was sign up for other services. Guys, as much as I love Snapdocs and as valuable a tool as it is not the only one out there. You may have to go ahead and sign. In fact, I recommend it. Sign up for as many services as you can. Get your name out there so that you can create your own kind of algorithm and start, making it so that your name is the one that pops up, and you're on this site and you're on that site and you're over there and you're available in this and this and this and this and this and this and that. That also helps you with your website SEO, okay? SEO, SEO. So sign up for other services. I got a couple slides on this. Sign up for other services. This is not new information. This is not new information. Get your training, practice your training, identify your strengths, and all of those things can be done while you are waiting for your 2 weeks of Snapdocs verification to run out, right? Because you're going to respect what they've asked for. You're going to wait 2 weeks, right? Everybody here, we're goody goods. That's what we're going to do. We're going to respect what they asked for. All right. So 1, get your training. If you are not trained by anyone yet, please sign up with someone to get loan signing training or notary signing training. However you like to look at that, you are a signing agent, and any agent worth their salt is going to have training. And then practice your training. Do not let your training just sit in your head, because it's going to not be used if you are not actively doing loan signings, right? So practice, keep your skills up. Next up, gather your credentials. I'm going to show you some more about that in a second. And then identify your strengths. Now, people don't talk about this because a lot of people like in this industry say your resume is not important. I disagree, and I say that your resume is important even if it's just for you, right? I've seen a couple of signing services actually ask for a resume, so that's great. I have mine ready and prepared. But you should identify what your strengths are, and that is going to help you tailor your profile to provide better information so that you may be selected from some of these lesser known sites. Okay, do not pay for a signing service listing, and the recommendation that I give is do not pay more than $10, because Notary Cafe, I really like them. That's like $2 something a month. There's another one, I think it's signing order, that's like $1.99 or something like that. Like those I'm okay paying for, because they actually, like, I've seen the return on investment with those. But for me, it is really important to know what your strengths are going into this business. Know your own weaknesses going into this business so that you understand how you can sell yourself to a signing service, to direct business, to whomever you'd like. If you like to be a notary, just a straight up notary and do general notary work, you still have to sell yourself to obtain that business. So make sure that you have it all in your head. You know what you know. All right. And then finally, apply to signing services. I don't care what it is. Find a list and apply. All right. That's it. That's that recommendation. This is how to get verified on Snapdocs, right? Is to just work around it. I had to do this. So I'm going to finish up this slide, then I'm going to tell you the rest of my story. Okay. So commonly required items are your notary license, your driver's license, your E&O insurance, your background check, your W-9. If you don't know it, search for it on the irs.gov website. Your NNA signing agent profile link, because they will ask you for that commonly. Optionally required or optionally requested information, but can sometimes be required, is a notary profile pic, training certifications, and your notary resume. So I want to say something about these 3 items. So they're not always requested, but if you don't have a notary profile, I'm going to tell you a trick about this, your notary profile pic. If you don't have a notary profile pic, there are certain signing services that I consider premium signing services that literally take your picture and give it to the lenders, the escrow agencies, and your upcoming borrowers or your signers, and show them. So 1, your signers know who's at the door. 2, the lenders and escrow agencies and, your escrow officers and your, or your, if you're in an attorney state, I'm assuming they do the same thing for attorneys. They see your face. They know who you are. They can make that human connection with you and get a cue off of your professionalism. So if you are sitting there and you are, just took one of them very dimly lit like pictures and got no makeup on, and your eyebrows haven't been done because it's COVID, and you don't want nobody touching your face, and that's what you gave to the signing service, you might not be getting orders. Okay. If you gave them a picture of you, throwing up the deuces with the homies, that's probably not a good picture to provide for your signing service. All right. So represent yourself well, put yourself out there well, get a good notary profile pic. I have a friend who does photos down, or who is a photographer down in Texas, and his tagline is invest in your imagery. So invest in yourself, invest in your imagery. We always talk about investing in your business and how that actually grows you. Number 2, training certifications. I talked about this at the beginning. Get your training certification. If you are not certified, I don't know why you would think somebody would want you to handle a $2.5 million loan at all, right? So whether it be a purchase or a refinance or a sale, like, why would somebody trust you with that? 1, you don't have insurance, and 2, you haven't been trained. So think about it like that logically. about what our business is, what we do, and the integrity that is required to complete the job. All right. Okay. Number 3, your notary resume. So lots of people say that this isn't required. And I agree, it's not required. Like I said, some signing services have asked for it. I have one. I have one that I provide to anybody that I am engaging with, because I want them to know. And this is how actually I believe, like, I got approved to some of the signing services that people tell you absolutely cannot get approved for. That and my background, right? Like, again, I know my skills and I know how to present them, okay? And I know how to make my skills relate to the business at hand, even though I've never been a real estate agent, mortgage, a loan officer. I've never been in title or escrow, and I, don't have my title producer's license. Like, I know contracts, okay? And I know that I know contracts, right? Like, I create contracts, I execute contracts all the time, and I do vendor management. Like, I've done that throughout my history in business. I also know professional service. So I like giving my customers a warm and fuzzy feeling, and I know how to articulate that on paper. So that is what's on my resume, as well as all the training that I've taken, because I've taken a lot of it. I'm a member of several associations. I put that on there. It shows that I'm invested. Okay, so I'm not just here fly by night. Like, I don't intend to make this a fly by night thing. Eventually I'm going to be full time, and I'm just calling that into existence right now. My notary resume is a one pager, but it's something that represents me, and I think it does a very good job at that. All right, so get all these things together, put them in a single folder on your computer while you are signing up to signing services. Like, I even labeled mine, like I numbered mine. So the numbers here, like 1 through 6, and then 1 through 3, like I would have 9. I actually do have 9 different documents, and they're numbered sequentially. So I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And then, like, they have the name, but in front, that's the number. And so they're in order in my little file. And that's just me being, OCD about how things are done. But it's very easy for me to go into that folder called credentials and pull out my credentials when I'm uploading my documentation to a portal. Okay. And then, yes, I have my credentials folder as a sticky to my quick files. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not training today. So you can ask me in comments if that's the case. All right. So these are some things you can do. Now, yeah. So the big tip, work for other companies. So now I'm going to tell you, my story. All right. So when I saw that message on Snapdocs that said, hey, you're not NNA certified, I was freaking out. Like, I have to be NNA certified because that's what everybody tells you. You have to. It took probably about 7 emails back and forth between me and the folks over at Snapdocs. They were great, and they just kept giving me advice. So one, they told me the things that I've told you today. They told me to go ahead and make sure that your phone numbers are the same ones that are on your signing service profile or your signing agent profile. They told me to check my address, check my phone numbers, check like everything. And then what else did they say? They said give it time. So that's how I found out that it syncs overnight. You have to wait on Snapdocs profile. Their recommendation is to wait 48 hours. I can tell you that once NNA made a change, that it actually happened that night. So anyway, so time went on and on and on and on, and I was not Snapdocs verified, or I was, but that NNA piece wasn't there, and I wasn't seeing the orders come through, and it was driving me nuts. And Snapdocs kept saying, hey, you're verified, it's not affecting your orders. And I just didn't believe it. So I gave up on Snapdocs, and I went and I started working for other signing services. And I will say, and I'll give a shout out to them, even though like I disagree with what they did, it was a means to an end for me. I worked for Notary Go. because I could not get verified on Snapdocs. Like I wasn't getting orders there. And so Notary Go, I signed up with them. I was getting orders left and right. I eventually was like, and it didn't take long. It was like 2 weeks, but I mean, it was a little bit, but I stopped doing that and reached out to some of the other ones, some of the more well-known signing services. I'll do a video on Notary Go, the pros and the cons, if you want me to. So if you want that, put it in the comments. But if you're not signed up for Notary Go, that's a way that you can do that. And the only reason, like, I actually suggest Notary Go, is because on Snapdocs, as a new notary, you are going to get coast to coast, and coast to coast is going to offer you some very, very low dollar value orders. And you may get other ones from other places if you're receiving orders at all. But to me, if I'm going to accept a low order, I'm going to accept the higher low order of the two. And for me, in my area, that was Notary Go. So I took those at the very beginning of my career when this whole Snapdocs thing was going on, so that I could get out of this situation where I was not practicing my trade. Okay? So listen to what I'm saying. I am not saying to make a career out of doing those lowball orders. I am saying that if you are in a situation where you are not getting orders from anywhere, and you, one, have a financial need for it, you, two, have a means to do those orders without it impacting your budget, right? Because sometimes you're going to take a loss on those just because their orders, like I said, I got to do a whole video on that. I don't want to go into it here. But listen to what I'm saying, and that is that do that for a very short period of time to get you experience so that you may use them as a reference in the future when you're applying for a different signing service, for one of those signing services that you really, really want to be accepted in, right? Like some of these you're just going to apply and it's like, oh, if they accept me, they do. If they don't, they don't. I mean, like, I've never heard of them anyway. But like other ones, when you really, really want to be accepted there, show them that you've done work for somebody. And you can't do that if you were just waiting to be Snapdocs verified. Okay? So listen to what I'm saying. They are very new notary friendly. All right? And don't do it if you don't have a fax machine or a way to fake a fax machine, like doing an e-fax, because they do require that you fax back most stuff. And I literally mean fax back, not scan back. Okay? So that's a note. Sidebar, total. But for me, like I said, I had to do something to get out of this rut because I was not getting orders, and I'm like, I got goals. I got to get here. I finally found the issue though, and I want to share that with you. I found that my issue was with the NNA. In September, when this issue first started, I actually increased my insurance on the NNA portal. And I did it by calling in, and they went in my profile and they updated everything. They gave me, they prorated like the funds that I'd already used, and they put them in the system. And then I saw my profile, and for me, I didn't think anything was wrong because I was like, oh, well, that's just a result. Like the change occurred just as a result of them making that update. And I did see the update there on my profile, but I didn't understand that that was an error. I just thought, oh, that's what happens when they make an update. But I finally was like, okay, this is the only thing on my whole entire profile. Even like the description of my profile was exactly the same. Like the little box that you can do your whole profile spiel. All of that was synced, and I waited 48 hours. Like I'm telling you, this was a good month and a half or two of me waiting 48 hours after every single change I make to see if Snapdocs was updating. When I called the NNA, I finally called the NNA, and I was ordering my one of my my notary journals. And I just asked, I said, can you look at my profile? I'm like, because I'm having a really hard time on Snapdocs. And I said, they say that they sync data with you. So I just wanted to see, is this syncing something that actually is happening? And so what they said was, yes. Well, let me see what's going on here. And it looked like I had 3 individual lines of 100K insurance. Okay, so, do the math, that's 300K of insurance, but it looked like it was the same policy 3 different times. And so that is what did it. They made that update, they changed it and reduced it down to the 1 line of 100K. She made the edit. She was like, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. She was able to fix my profile and everything worked out fine. So I just wanted to share my story with you guys. If you end up being in a rut, go ahead and call the NNA. And see if they can help you get your Snapdoc sync to work. And not only does that work on your database, on your Snapdocs database, that information in the NNA database goes to a lot of other resources. So other profiles are also synced with that as well. So I just wanted to share this with you. You guys, if you like this video, then please do go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you have questions about your Snapdocs profile, I am not an expert. I can only tell you what I learned through my own experience. I'm hoping that it helps one of you guys or some of you guys, and that you can get out here and actually start getting business. So thank you for your time. I want to tell you that I appreciate you all, and thank you for being a good notary. Have a great day.